Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Yuleta and today I'll be talking about La Catrina. She has become the main symbol of the Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos. But to begin with, for those of you who are not familiar with this rather happy celebration, let's look at the Day of the Dead, try to understand why La Catrina has become the symbol of such celebration. The Dia de los Muertos is not a Mexican Halloween, even though the festivities for this day begin on 31st of October and end on 2nd of November. It's a happy celebration meant to honor those loved ones who have departed and celebrate life of those who are still living. During this time, the celebrations are held in cemeteries where people commemorate their lost loved ones. They offer them flowers and some of the food or beverages that they used to love while they were still alive. During this time, you can see symbols like skeletons, skulls, altars, and the colorful cut paper streamers. However, one of the most important and well-recognized symbols of the Day of the Dead is the tall female skeleton wearing a fancy hat. Her name is La Catrina, and she has become the face of the Dia de los Muertos. But of course, you could have seen her in a different context, because for example, her unique style has become a very popular makeup trend in the recent years. The skeleton, as we see today, was originally created in 1910 by an artist called José Guadalupe Posada. Posada was a controversial political artist who drew skeletons or calaveras in a satirical way to remind people that they will all end up dead one day. In his artwork, he wanted to remind us that no matter what color your skin is, what kind of society or social class do you belong to, no matter how rich or poor you are, we are all gonna end up as skeletons at the end of the day. In addition, La Calavera Catrina was also created with a reference to the high society obsession with the European customs. In fact, Posada first named La Catrina La Calavera Carboncera, describing people who were ashamed of their Indian origins and denied their own cultural heritage. They used to dress in a way imitating the French and used to wear a lot of makeup to make their skin look whiter. The symbol of La Catrina was also honored by an artist, Diego Rivera, a husband of Frida Kahlo. He painted La Catrina in the middle of his 15-meter-long mural that represented the 400 years of Mexican history. The mural is called Sueño de una tarde dominical en la Alameda Central, or Dreams of a Sunday Afternoon in Alameda Park. It was painted in 1947 and displays Mexican history with its famous political and cultural characters. In fact, it was Diego who named her La Catrina. Before, she had been known only as La Calavera, as named by José Guadalupe Posada. Possibly, the word derives from slang Catrina, which means elegant and well-dressed, also referring to the rich people. Going back to the mural, next to Catrina, on the left in the first row, Diego actually painted himself as a child. He is holding his hand with the skull, and behind him is his wife, the famous artist Frida Kahlo. And to the right, La Catrina, stands her original creator, José Guadalupe Posada. In this mural, Diego painted Catrina in sophisticated, elegant clothes and an extravagant hat with feathers, an image she is well known for today. While she is standing near to the center of the mural, around her there are a lot of important historical figures. There are presidents, writers, generals, as well as some native Mexican people. And if you wanted to see this mural in real life, it is actually displayed in Diego Rivera Mural Museum in Mexico City. Since this mural was created, La Catrina has become a strong symbol of the Day of the Dead. Nowadays, many people use La Catrina for inspiration for their makeup, elegant clothes, reminding us of the symbolic skeleton. And from what we can see, Mexico has quite a unique culture where this day is portrayed as rather joyful celebration rather than the day of the mourning. Of course, this is not to say that they don't grieve or they don't miss the loved ones, but what it means is that they choose to celebrate life and memories with those people when they were still alive. Probably it's not surprising that La Catrina's image has become so popular over the years. La Catrina was created with a hidden message as a Calavera Garbancera for us to live to our true selves and don't pretend to be someone you're not. No matter what you look like or where you come from, we will all end up as skeletons. And nowadays, many people draw inspiration from La Catrina to dress up for the Dia de los Muertos, to honor their loved ones and remind themselves that they're not immortal either. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video about one of the most important symbols of the Dia de los Muertos. If you wanted to find out more, I would highly recommend an animated movie called Coco. It's about a 12-year-old Miguel who gets transported to the land of the dead to meet his ancestors. This movie beautifully covers the traditions that are involved in the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. And now, thank you very much for watching my video and hope to see you in my next videos. Thank you. Bye bye.